Welcome to another episode of Out of Spec Dave, where today we're going to do something really interesting. On my left here, we've got a 2023 Model Y long range. This car happens to have hardware 4 on it. On my right, this is a 2023 Model 3. This happens to be the rear wheel drive one, but it has hardware 3 on it. Now, one of the things that's really interesting is within service mode, you can pull up all the different cameras and see exactly what the car is seeing. And we're going to show you in this video today what those differences are. I would think maybe the hardware 4 would actually show you more views, maybe higher quality, or maybe that's not what we're going to see here. So let's get into it. All right, so let me take you on a tour of all the cameras that both these cars have. We'll do it on the Model Y. It's the same number of cameras, so let's get into it. These cars have 9 cameras each. Now, there's 3 cameras that are up in here, and let's see if you can check them out right up in there. There's 3 there. You have, I'll come on over here. You've got a camera right in here, and one on the other side as well. You've got cameras on the B pillar. And then you also have a camera here in the back. In addition to that, that makes a total of 8 cameras, but there's also a camera in the interior of the car as well. Now, one of the things is, this is a little trick if you don't know this, how do you know whether or not a Model Y, as an example, if there was a transition when 2023's, some of the Model Ys had hardware 3 cameras versus hardware 4. And the way to tell is, if you come on over here, you can see inside, if you see a little red dot, I don't know if you can see that, but when you look at the camera itself, it has a reddish glow to it. That's how you can tell whether or not the camera and the car has hardware 4 on it or not. Now, one of the things that I've noticed when we first picked up this Model Y was the camera quality was so much better in the hardware 4 than in the hardware 3 car, which is my Model 3. I'm not so sure that's the case anymore, and perhaps there's been a software update to make that a little bit better, but the color saturation seems to have gotten better in the Model 3. But that's not really what we're here to talk about today. The question is, what can the car see? And we're going to show you that right now with this new, with the mode, which is really a software utility mode that we're going to show you how to get into. All right, so let's just talk about some of the differences between these two cars, hardware 3 versus hardware 4. And it was really funny. On the day that we picked up this Model Y, another Model Y was being delivered right next to us, and it didn't have hardware 4. And I didn't want to say anything to the buyer, but in any event, we knew that it had the hardware 4. We showed you the little red dot. But one of the things we're finding with this hardware 4 is that I do have FSD beta on this car. Now, originally when hardware 4 came out on the Model Y, you could not use FSD beta at all. It did work with enhanced for lane changes and all that, but it's really, we have a big problem with this car because the B pillars, they constantly are disengaging the ability to be doing auto lane changing. And it says the cameras are degraded, or it's like the unavailable B pillar cameras. And, you know, originally I called Tesla and I was going to have them recalibrate the car, and this was when it was over the summer down in Florida. And they said, yeah, we understand that that's a problem. It's not working right. So oftentimes, especially at night, not during the day, but at night, and definitely when it's raining, like right now, we're getting a little drizzle, you can't even use FSD beta. Forget about FSD beta. I have to test that. More videos to come on that. But the enhanced autopilot, because you lose the B pillar cameras, you just can't even do lane changes, which is, it's just interesting how Tesla often puts out hardware when it's not necessarily fully tested and vetted, which is something that, hey, listen, you know, we're the beta testers, right? We're the people who buy the car, so we got to test them out. But
regular autopilot does work?
Sorry
to interject.
Regular autopilot does work in terms of lane centering and also as far as the adaptive cruise. But as soon as when it says B pillars are degraded, the cameras are degraded, you can forget about changing lanes in the car. So, you know, I mean, I spent $199 or whatever it was to have FSD beta in this car. And, you know, at night, you can't even do lane changes, which is crazy to me. But why don't we do this? Why don't we go inside the cars? Why don't we start with the hardware 3 car, the Model 3 first, and check out what the car can see by using the service mode, which we'll show you how to get into.
Yeah, and then we'll do the side-by-side comparison.
All right.
I'm looking forward to this, actually. Thanks for letting me commandeer your YouTube channel again.
No worries.
Okay.
Welcome to my beloved Model 3.
Such a good car.
It is a great car. I love this car. I should just keep this car. Why am I getting the Model X?
Yeah, views.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into service mode, and the way to do that is you click on the lower left hand service, and then software, and then you hold the Model 3 or Model Y in, and then you type in the word service and you hit enter, and you just say yes, enable it. I just signed my life away. I don't know what I did there. So Kyle, can you maybe just give me a little overview in terms of the service mode, and maybe some just what is going on here with this? We can look at the cameras real first if you want, but I'd like to just hear your thoughts about the overall capabilities of this system.
It's really cool. It really shows you everything going on with the car. It shows your battery pack temperatures. If you're a real thermal nerd, it'll show you the temperatures of everything, including your autopilot computer in here, your battery pack, your PCS and your DC to DC converter, basically your onboard charger temperature. While you're AC charging, you'll probably see the temperature rise. What's going on with your heat pump cooling system up here to heat and cool different things. Your rear drive inverter, which the drive loop's currently off, so it's not going to show you. I mean, so many things, even to the point of how much pressure you're putting into the steering rack, which again, the car is off, but it would show torsion bar torque right here. It's just fascinating. I think it requires us to do a full in-depth video on this, don't you think?
Yeah, and can you drive the car when this is on, this service mode?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much we should recommend that our viewers do these things, but yes, you can go here to service settings and click remove speed limit before you put it in drive, and then you can keep this on as much as you want.
Okay, got it. Now, in order to show the cameras as far as what the car is seeing right now, granted it's raining out, so some of the cameras may be a little bit blurry, but what do you do? Is it infotainment? Is that
driver assist?
Driver assist. Okay.
Right.
And then cameras.
Right. And this will show you every camera that's currently connected to the Autopilot hardware computer. So this is hardware 3.
Right.
And so you have, of course, the 1, 2, 3 cameras up front. These are the ones that are in here.
Right.
You have your side cameras, right repeater, right pillar, and your trunk. The only thing I'm not seeing here is your center camera.
That one right up there?
Nope, that's your narrow pitch camera. That's going to be this one up here. So,
okay.
But it will show when we get to the camera view, because all you have to do is click camera preview and just give it 1 second. It's saying that it's not saved or transmitted, and there we are. So I can come here to the cabin view, and you'll be able to see us.
Wow.
Hello, viewers.
What is going on? That's the mirror that's in the way there.
Yes.
Okay. Very cool. Look at that. Hey, world.
Right, we're right. I don't even know where we're supposed to look.
I don't know. It's almost like a black and white camera. Do you think that's just because it's dark out?
Yeah, but this is what it's seeing at night. So actually, if we turn the interior lights off, we are under a bright light. What would be kind of interesting, actually, when we do this test, because I think what we want to do is I'm going to get in the Model Y, you're going to get in this car, and we're going to side by side go through all of these options. And we have the cars parked in the exact same conditions.
So similar light.
Painting, yeah, going the same way. I wonder if the, just want to check. It looks like the rain is affecting a little bit of the view. Maybe not so much.
Wow, it's coming down pretty hard.
Yeah, it's really raining. But hey, you drive cars in the rain.
That's true. No, absolutely.
I wanted to do this at nighttime because that pushes the cameras way harder than daytime.
Now, Kyle, just a quick question. We're in the Model 3, which is hardware 3. Is it your understanding that the new refresh Model 3 is going to come with hardware 4?
I believe so.
Okay. And does that have any additional cameras beyond the 9 that this car has?
When I was looking at it, I did not see any additional cameras. The only additional sensors were the blind spot sensors that they put here with a little light.
Okay. Yeah, because I've seen a lot of, I've read a lot of noise about the Cybertruck having a camera in the lower front bumper.
Yeah.
And is there any truth to the fact that S's and X's have cameras in the headlights?
Maybe Model X is what the rumor was, and we saw some photos. I don't know if that ever made it to production, though.
Okay, interesting. All right, so what we have here is a way to look at what the car's seeing, and I guess my question is the hypothesis that what hardware 3 can see is not as good as what hardware 4? Is that what your belief is? Because we haven't done this side by side yet.
Well, we need to discuss, there's probably, and there's definitely more beyond just the camera changes going from hardware 3 to 4. It's a completely different computer and processing logics, and I believe the software they're running is probably similar. However, the hardware component beyond just the cameras is different. And there seems to be no upgrade path from 3 to 4 because it's, if you follow Green the Only on Twitter, who's a Tesla hacker and a really, I've known him for a long time. Jason Hughes is great. He showed when hardware 4 was really becoming the thing, there was no upgradability from 3 to 4.
I see.
And so, mom's car, the Model Y, has hardware 4. Your car has 3. All we can really see with this new service mode is what each individual camera is truly pointing at. If you could just click the wiper real quick.
Yeah.
Nice. You hit the windshield washer.
A little too hard.
We can actually, kind of start to compare the differences between the two in this type of scenario. That's kind of what I want to get into in this video because the actual logic, the processing power, we can't show that so much.
Right. So I just want one thought. My understanding is, the Roy G. Biv, right? Red, green, and blue. My understanding is that the hardware 3 cameras themselves did not have a green interpolation connector or a way of determining whether something was green. And what it did was it would actually use digital interpolation in order to create green. And when we first got this car, when comparing the quality, when you put your turn signal on in a car,
that would be just the native camera built in. That's these right here.
Right. But
because this is not service mode, just for those wondering.
This is not service mode.
Yeah, just so I can show the viewers really quick because they may not know. There's a built-in camera button. Every Tesla has this without service mode, and it will show you your side underneath the mirror, the repeaters down there,
right,
and then the rear camera.
Right, in the rear camera. And then when you put on your turn signal, what pops up in the screen is, because we have this on here, but what pops up in the screen is this camera. Now, here's the thing, Kyle. That has gotten better. The picture of this camera, when the video in this screen, when we first got Mom's car, the Y, the quality of the color saturation on the hardware for is that is so much better. But I don't know if I've gotten a revision in the software or maybe I'm losing my eyesight, but this hardware 3, the color saturation looks a lot better. Just a little anecdote. I don't know what to interpret with that.
Well, they definitely issued a software update and everyone talked about that one.
Okay.
Yep. So
it looks a lot better.
Yeah, totally. I agree. It's beautiful. That's like iPhone quality right there.
No, it's really quite good.
So I think maybe we should do the comparison because what we're not going to talk about in this video is autopilot. Maybe we could do it in the future if people are interested. You could autopilot down the same road and do some hardware 3 versus 4 comparisons. But in your driving impression, there's no real driving difference between them.
No. I don't see any difference. I mean, you were in this car all day today. What did you think of the autopilot?
Yeah, my Model S has hardware 3, so I thought it was pretty much the same. The only thing that your car doesn't have are the ultrasonic sensors.
Right.
Which are pretty lame that they removed those.
Very lame.
Yeah. The car is terrible at guessing close objects.
It's in one way, it's amazing how much they can do with vision only. But at the same time, what did they save? $20 by taking ultrasonic sensors out?
I don't know. Just let me option it back in.
I know. It's crazy. All right. So you want to jump over in the Y?
Yep.
And then how are we going to do this?
Well, you film your screen. I'll film mine. We should probably get the cars out of the light underneath here. We'll go to a dark corner because it's dark and wet. It's the hardest thing for the cameras to operate in.
Right.
And let's go get into a dark corner and see what each car can see.
Okay. Is that a cop? What's he doing over there?
No, not a cop. We're okay.
All right, we're good. Let's do this.
Join me inside the Model Y now, and my dad's over there in the Model 3. And what we're going to do is try and get the settings as comparable on these vehicles. And since it's raining, we actually are going to try and sync up the windshield wiper so that what you're seeing is the same. So, Dad, what we're going to do is we're going to put the cars on level 2 wiper, but we're going to select it at the same time. So, if we bring up the windshield wiper menu, you ready? And 3, 2, 1. Select. Number 2.
Okay.
So now I think our wipers are dead on when we show the cameras. Yes, they are going in sync. I've also turned off the fog lights in the Model Y because the Model 3 Standard Plus does not have fogs. So we have the same basic headlight output car to car. And what's interesting, you'll notice here in the Model Y, I've also pulled up service mode. This one is the hardware 4 car. I'm not seeing the narrow pitch camera because in your car, Dad, can you share the 3 camera views that you have?
Yeah,
there?
It's actually called fisheye pitch, narrow pitch, and main pitch.
Okay, so I have the fisheye pitch, I have the main pitch, but I do not have the narrow pitch here. Even though this car has 3 cameras installed here, I can actually only see 2 of them hooked up. What do you say we pull up the camera preview and see what that looks like?
Okay, wait, now, camera preview, yeah.
All right.
Live stream is not saved or transmitted. It takes a second. There we go.
Actually, I think got there a little bit quicker than yours.
Well, you may have hit it a second.
Wow,
sooner.
Dad, this is fascinating. Even just looking at my screen versus yours, there's a difference here.
Really?
Yes, definite difference here.
What do you see? I can't really see your screen.
Okay, what we should do is all interior lights are off. Let's start and run through the list. Let's go through the cabin camera to start.
All right, cabin camera.
There we are. Okay.
There I am.
So, in your
That looks like a bad Halloween movie, you know?
If you look out, can you see my screen at all, Dad?
Yeah, sort of.
Now, it's not a great comparison because we have white seats in the Model Y and you have black seats in your Model 3. But I'll just give the impression of it could be because the Y has a taller windshield, but no question I can see way more of the interior in the Model Y with hardware 4.
Oh, you mean like a wider angle?
Yeah, wider and taller. It's almost way more vision involved here.
Interesting. Okay.
So I think the viewers get a good side-by-side there. This is probably the worst test because white interior versus black interior.
But the whole point of this is actually what the car sees, what the car stores and knows, right?
This is the raw camera feed, not the processed camera footage from the car.
Right. Okay.
All right. So is the next one over for you the main?
Main, yes.
Okay, let's do that. And I get some blue and green bars, as you do as well.
Yeah, blue and green horizontal bars and vertical.
I love that our windshield wipers are perfectly in sync for this.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's the side-by-side. I can instantly tell you that mine has much less red, much less haziness up top in terms of color. So it's much more true color to what my eyes are seeing. It's definitely a foggy, nasty night. And maybe next time, if the audience is really interested, we should put some like obstacles out there because we're just looking into a dark parking lot at the moment.
Right.
Okay, what's the next view over that
Wide.
you have? Wide. Okay, I have wide as well. Wow, wide view there. Definitely less housing in the way in this particular one than in yours.
Mine is housing from here, almost like half the screen is housing.
Yeah, so yours touches the green bar, the housing, right?
It does on the far left and far right side.
And mine is
the lower green bar, yeah.
Mine is completely open. So I wonder if that's a Model Y thing or a hardware 4 thing.
I don't know.
Could be interesting to look into that.
So Kyle, what camera is this? That's actually the one up in the center here.
Well, there's 3 up there.
There's 3, but it's one of those 3, right?
Yep, the one before this one, and you have a narrow view next, right?
Yes, I do.
I do not. So why don't you?
You don't even have the option for narrow?
It won't even let me pull up the narrow.
Well, I'm going to hit mine. Hardware 3 rocks.
And that should be a really zoomed in image.
Yes. Well, I want to compare that to main, though. So if I look at this tree right there, and then I go to main. Yeah, it is. It's actually just zoomed in.
Right. And what's interesting is mine does not even give me the option of the zoomed view.
So it's not even trying to digitally zoom in on it. It's a separate camera, but yet there are 3 cameras in your car. It's just not allowing you to see it.
Yeah, I guess they just haven't turned it on, or I don't know. Maybe they decided they didn't need it.
That's weird.
Very weird. Okay, is left door pillar next?
Yeah, left door pillar.
Okay, let's do that. Whoa, we're looking at my dad. So this is pretty interesting because you have nothing to the left of you,
No.
and I have you to the left of me. So maybe we should do your left pillar versus my right door pillar, because that would kind of show
Okay.
roughly the same,
All right.
I think. Mine is a really nice image over here, by the way.
Well, you know, there's a lot of lights over that way, Kyle.
Yeah, it is totally
I don't know
different,
what
isn't
people
it?
are doing by those mailboxes. It doesn't look healthy. That's for
You
sure.
know, let me just inch forward a little bit so that we can try and get these kind of comparable. I'm just going to pull up over here really quick. And let's go into park. Doesn't let you do it while driving. Camera preview, left door pillar. Come on, Tesla. There we go. Maybe they don't. They have a long, literal, long boot up time. What happened? Did we glitch? There we go. Left door pillar. Wow. Actually, I think this looks better than what my dad's car was showing. Now, of course, the red car with the, let me see if I can clean that off a little bit. Yeah, it's just a little blown out in the wet there. But interesting. Let's back it up. Next to the Model 3. Try not to crash into anyone. Okay, so I tried to make that comparison of the door pillars. I don't know if it worked.
Okay.
What's next for you?
Left fender.
Okay. Similar situation there. How's that looking for you over there?
Actually, you know, kind of grainy, but looks like the grass needs to be cut.
Okay. Maybe I should pull forwards again and do left fender versus left fender. I'll just get it so you're out of my way here.
All right.
Now, of course, his Model 3 is going to be there. So, again, a pretty not great comparison. Left fender. Left fender. Actually, it is a pretty good comparison, isn't it? Or that was the left door pillar. Ah, yep. So there's his car. Let me just pull around the other side of him. Why not? We're here just doing testing. We're going to do proper testing. We're not going to leave the viewers hanging. So now I'm just going to go to the same position that his Model 3 is in. Basically on the other side now. So he showed the left fender. Let's pull up service mode. This one, camera preview. Left fender. There we go. That's this view. Exactly the same position as his car right there. So I would say that is an unbelievably sharp, high quality image. If I put the brake lights on, you'll see it light everything up. If I put the turn signal on, you'll see that as well. Pretty freaking fascinating. So let's get back into position. We'll move around one more time. Get back on the correct side. And maybe see if we can compare the right side now. I'm back.
All right.
So I would say this looked beautiful, that left fender view.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we should pull up a camera that we don't have to move around for next.
Well, I don't know what camera that would be. I got right.
That would be the rear.
Oh, rear. Okay, rear. Okay, I had to slide it over a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. It looks like Niagara Falls, water dripping.
Yep, same here, water droplets, but they look to be about the same angle and similar quality. Let's both hit the brake pedal in 3, 2, 1. You know, honestly, looking at your screen, Dad, from here, it could just be the angle. This looks so much more clear.
Yours or mine?
Mine. Hardware 4.
Huh.
Yeah, that's interesting. And then we'll just do, just to show people the right fender here.
Right fender.
And of course, I'm going to be in this view, so I'm going to get out of your way here in a second. So
okay.
We'll take a snapshot of mine here, and I'll move out of the way. And now film your right fender.
There he goes.
Okay. Have to do a lot of inching around for this test.
And we didn't do the right door pillar yet.
Yep, that's the last one we have to do. So I'll capture the right door pillar on this one. Boom, right door pillar. Load. Okay, wow, very dark in this particular one here. You can barely just see a little bit of lighting here at the top. Okay, very good. Brakes on. Let's get out of the way. Dad, if you can capture that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you have it.
I think that's the whole comparison there, Dad.
What's that?
I think that's the whole comparison.
I think I'm getting wet.
Yes, but it's do it for the vine.
Well, this is what you have to do for testing, right?
Just some iPhones in a dark parking lot.
Yeah. You know, the tree behind you, it looks like it's lit up for Halloween. It's all red, but it's the brake lights. It's not the leaves.
Well, I think we learned something interesting. Hey, when you show your camera pitch view on your screen,
Yeah.
what does it say for degrees of pitch on the front cameras?
Pitch verification?
No, it should say like fisheye pitch, 0 degrees.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, fisheye pitch is minus 0.3 degrees. Narrow pitch is minus 1 degree. And main pitch is 0.8 degrees.
Wow, very different here. My fisheye pitch is 0. I don't have a main. And then, I don't have a narrow, but my main is negative 0.2 degrees.
Well, you know, they're different cars.
Different cars, and I think they self-calibrate as well.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Well,
All right, so what's the conclusion here?
let's go back to the light and we'll conclude.
All right, sounds good. All right, so how do we conclude this? I'm not really sure, other than what I'd love, if you have a hardware 4 car, what I'd love for you to do is check to see, using the service mode, if you've got a main camera or not.
Narrow.
Narrow. Sorry, narrow. Really curious to see, and leave the comments below. The other thing is that Kyle was very impressed with what he was seeing in the Model Y versus the Model 3. But we're going to go back. We're going to check it out ourselves. We're going to see the side-by-side, and we'll look at this. But what's very interesting to me is both look very good. Hardware 4 definitely looks a little bit better, but it's missing a camera angle, which is strange. So, look, you know, we're going to try and make some sense of this. But Kyle, thanks for showing me service mode and doing this this fun test on a Friday night when it's pouring rain out. This is what I intended to do today.
Yeah, it's been interesting for me because both of these cars do not have the radar installed. Right. So these cars both rely on vision only for all driver assistance. For short range, there's no ultrasonic sensors and no radar for long range, and no high definition radar that maybe Model S and X are starting to ship with, according to Elon in the earnings call. I don't really know. But anyway, what's fascinating is this a good enough camera feed? Because this is the raw data that the car is getting for them to do full self-driving. That's what I want to hear in the comments below. Yeah. Is this enough data? You know, some of the cameras, my impression in the rain here, we're getting, you know, blown out images when the brake lights of the cars came on and they had water droplets on the camera. Yeah. Is it even feasible in all conditions? My guess is...
No way. I don't think there's any way it's feasible in all conditions. I mean,
sure.
Right? I mean, in bad rain or what have you. But that's just going to limit the amount of time that you'll be able to use FSD.
But it's also the question of when you're moving, does the airflow of the car moving keep the cameras clean? Because I have to tell you, I've been so impressed with what, not just Tesla Autopilot, but a lot of other vehicles that I'm able to test. Yeah. I'm so impressed with what they can do in really harsh rain and dark conditions. At times, the cars can see better than me. Yeah. And it's fascinating.
Well, I'll just leave you with this one thought. I thought it would be way better, like in the Lucid, you have radar, you have LiDAR, you have sonar, you have all kinds of R's, right? Here, you've just got one source of imagery, that being vision only. And when you think about what a car has to do to take all those different disparate data sources, aggregate them together, massage them together, and make decisions on them in a split decision, maybe Tesla's going at this the better way of just vision only. And maybe it's more simple. Is that the better way to say it? Maybe it's easier to figure out FSD by having fewer data inputs. And I don't really know the answer.
I think time will tell this one. Yeah. I mean, in 10 or 20 years, we'll look back and be like, either this was the correct or the wrong decision. That's my viewpoint. Yeah. Because I know experts in the autonomous driving field that completely disagree with Tesla, and other experts that swear Tesla is doing the right thing. Yeah. And so I get so many mixed data points from people that I'm trying to rely on that know. And what I've come to the conclusion of is time will tell. Yeah. I don't think we can draw conclusions this early.
And also, I think as cars start talking to each other, and they're aware of the other cars that are out there, that's going to make things a lot more safe.
But
Today,
until you drive an ancient legacy vehicle that has no car to X
no, I get
communication.
that, but at least if you run into a car that has it, you know, maybe
Yeah,
it'll
sure.
make it a little bit safer.
But then you still have to plan for it
I'm
without.
thinking way out into the future.
You're going off
All right,
into a
listen,
tangent.
I'm going to drown out here. Thanks again for watching another episode of Aspect Dave. You know, Kyle, whenever you come to visit, I never sleep. What the heck?
We got to film.
I know. Talk to you all later. Bye-bye.